Welcome back to Run the Atlas. Today I'm talking about the Galapagos of North America, the Channel Islands National Park, and the things you need to know before visiting here. This is a very unique national park. I've been here 6 times, and every time I have a completely unique experience. So I've learned so many things about visiting this national park that I'm going to pass on to you. So stay tuned to the end to capture all the details. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. So the Channel Islands are a grouping of 5 islands off the coast of Ventura and Oxnard, California. They developed completely separate than the mainland of California, and they've never been connected. So because of that, they've developed very specific species of plants and animals that are endemic to these islands, meaning you will not find them anywhere else. And that includes the island fox and the island scrub jay. A lot of people visit the islands. There's a sort of mystique about them, a romanticism. There's a feeling of adventure and also solitude when you go here. You can see the undeveloped land that California once was. And there's literally nothing in sight. There's no people in sight. It's complete and utter solitude. This is where the north cold water and the southern warm water currents converge. So there's 1,000 different species of animals that live here. One of the most interesting things I found about visiting the Channel Islands versus other national parks, usually you'll see a visitor center when you go to a national park. However, on the Channel Islands, the visitor center is actually in Ventura Harbor. And I recommend orienting yourself there first so that you can get a nice orientation about the national park and learn about it before visiting. One of the most interesting things to note about the Channel Islands, half of this national park is underwater. So half of it you can't even see. You have to actually go underwater and go scuba diving or snorkeling to really experience the beauty of this national park. Can you guess how many people visit the Channel Islands per year? Well, it's much less than Yellowstone or Yosemite. It's 366,000 visitors a year. And the reason for that is because the only way to get here is via boat. They do have planes, but the airplanes are very expensive to get here. So most people will be taking the boat, and the concessionaire is called Island Packers. They've been operating since 1968, and their cruises are very educational. They even offer wildlife cruises, which is an opportunity to see the islands without going ashore. This is perfect for those of you who want to have more of a leaned back experience and don't quite want to rough it on the islands themselves. I'll get into why that's important later. They offer year-round cruises to Santa Cruz Island and Anacapa. Those are the 2 most popular islands. The other islands, they operate on a limited schedule. So check their website to see which islands are available. So about the boat ride with Island Packers, the islands are about an hour to an hour and a half off the coast of Ventura / Oxnard. Those are the 2 departing points to the Channel Islands. So check their website and they'll have all the schedules. You're going to want to purchase tickets in advance. Now the boat is a little bit smaller than the cruises to Catalina Island. The channel can be rough at times, so if you are prone to seasickness, please come prepared for that. See how deep the trench is in some of these areas in between the islands. Look how deep this is, the Santa Cruz Basin. 6,448 feet below sea level. There is a small snack stand on the boat and you can get beverages, but you can't get a proper lunch or anything like that on the boat. What to bring on your trip to the Channel Islands. Now, if you're just going for a wildlife cruise, you're going to want to bring some things to be comfortable on the boat, and that includes some sunscreen, a hat, some food, and of course water. But if you're doing any sort of hiking, you're going to want to bring the proper hiking shoes, hiking gear, a bathing suit, snorkel gear if you want to go into the water. The water is quite chilly here, so be prepared for that. Bring a first aid kit. You are 3 hours away from the nearest hospital once you reach the islands. If you're camping, of course, bring the full gamut of camping gear. It does cost $15 a night to camp, and camping is only available on certain islands. So check the website and make your reservation in advance. I'll link that down below. Once you get to the islands, there's a few activities that you're going to want to do. There's hiking, bird watching, wildlife viewing, swimming. Fishing is restricted for the most part, so check the website if you're interested in that. There is snorkeling, so you can try snorkeling, scuba diving, and there's also kayaking. The kayaking tours are with a concessionaire called Santa Barbara Adventure Company, and I'll link them down below, but they offer some really cool tours, including tours into the sea cave, which we'll get to next. So let's talk about the 5 islands. These islands are very distinctive from one another, and that's why I've taken so many trips to these islands. Each trip is completely different. So first of all, Anacapa. You can see Anacapa off the coast of Oxnard and Ventura. It's an extremely beautiful place, and you will see the archway, and this is the symbol of the national park. It is on all of the brochures of the national park. This island is a volcanic island. It's very popular for bird watching. Anacapa is an island that is literally for the birds. It has no trees. There are literally 0 trees on this island. It's beautiful sea cliffs. Birds come here to nest in the sea cliffs, so you'll see tons of birds throughout the year. If you're a bird watcher, check out Anacapa. The wildlife cruise is perfect for you. Another interesting fact about Anacapa is the last lighthouse built on the west coast of the United States, built in 1912, is right here. There are no real beaches here. I traveled along the 9 miles of coast and there are literally no beaches, to the point where the pier is not even a real pier. So we are pulling into Anacapa right now, and they have the most interesting pier that I've ever seen. Like, you have to take a lot of stairs. So you can do some hiking here, but be prepared because there is no shade. So you're gonna wanna bring a hat and sunscreen. The next island is Santa Cruz Island, and this is the largest island of the national park. Kayaking here is very popular. You have your chance to see the scrub jay, and this is a bird that's endemic to the island. It's a beautiful blue bird. Another fun fact about Santa Cruz Island is that it has the largest sea cave. One of the largest sea caves in the world is right here. And when you cruise in with island packers, they'll actually take you partway into this sea cave, and they'll shine the light down into the cave, and you'll kind of see this mystery inside. It's really interesting. This cave is 1,227 feet in length. Can you imagine that? It also has a cave that looks like an elephant, and you can actually go inside this cave as well. Mike, first impressions.
Amazing. You guys have to come here. Come through Ventura Harbor, take island packers, do a day trip out here, come out here to camp. It's amazing. It feels like we're 1,000,000 miles away from the California mainland, and we're in this era of peace and relaxation and serenity.
Yeah.
The boat trip on Island Packers was amazing too. It was really great. They have beer and wine on there, so you can enjoy yourself, watch thousands of dolphins,
everywhere,
perhaps see whales, and then land on this island. Yes.
Cool. The next island is Santa Rosa Island, and I visited here during the springtime when the wildflowers were out. It's an extremely beautiful island, and it's known for having Torrey pines, which are only found in 2 places in California, in Torrey Pines in San Diego and right here in Santa Rosa. The 4th island is called San Miguel, and this one is more of a windswept island. It is famous for having thousands of seals and sea lions on its coastline. And the 5th and final island is Santa Barbara. This is the smallest island in the Channel Islands, and it is about 1 square mile. So let's talk about the action-packed wildlife experiences that you're bound to have on your trips to the Channel Islands. Now, every trip is different, and I've seen different types of animals on each trip. However, dolphins are very prevalent. Here we go. Of our trips, we've hit pods of dolphins, which means thousands of dolphins swimming alongside of our boat at once and surfing with the waves. It's very magical, and I highly recommend bringing a camera so that you can capture the moment. Second is whales. January to April is the highest likelihood of seeing the whales doing their migration in Southern California. Now, there's a number of whales that travel along this route. You'll likely see gray whales, but also orcas. They're more rare, but people have seen them in the Channel Islands. Next, of course, is birds. There's tons of bird life here. You're bound to see pelicans, ravens, and of course, sea lions and seals. You'll see these along the rocks. They blend in really well, so make sure you bring some binoculars to check them out. When going ashore, keep the departure time for your boat in mind and get to the pier in advance, because this is your only opportunity back to the mainland, unless you want to camp overnight. And another note about the hikers and campers here, they were very experienced and they knew what they were doing. And I recommend that if you are a beginner, maybe to do the wildlife cruise instead. This is the kind of place where you kind of have to know what you're doing. There's not a lot of amenities on these islands. They do have public toilets. They're pit style toilets. So I would definitely say that this is more of the type of island for folks who really like to be in nature and don't mind roughing it. That's really why they're coming here. They want to get away from it all. They want solitude and they want a completely different experience than what the mainland provides. I would love to know, what's your favorite island on the Channel Islands? Comment below. This national park is truly such a wonder. It's so pristine, and I've had some of the coolest nature experiences that I've ever had in California right here in this park. If you're into pristine landscapes, solitude, you'll love this national park. And I hope that you get to visit many times over. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more travel videos.